Robert Saleh sat down with Albert Breer, talked about how great of a teammate Rodgers has been. He's a phenomenal resource.
This is tougher to defend.
Yeah, this
Him
is
being here. Now, this was done after he was gone, so kind of strange. And attacking the offseason and doing everything that we've asked him has been fantastic. He's a great teammate, and we're appreciative of him. Yeah, okay. Your reaction?
I mean, coaches lie. Yeah, you know, I mean, that's indefensible. I mean, it was great when he was a man about town and sitting courtside with Sauce Gardner and all that, but every starting quarterback in the league was at mandatory minicamp except for him. I mean, this is undeniably a bad look for Aaron Rodgers. I will not defend this, but I will also not overreact to it. I don't think June is going to matter in September.
So this is where I think people are being dishonest with how they're phrasing it. But not just Robert Saleh being obviously dishonest there. I think everyone agrees that whatever they learn or don't learn in these 2 days in June is not going to have a massive impact on September. But that is not why this is a story. It's a story because does what one does. If I were showing up to work drunk in June, and I'm like, guys, don't worry, the shows really only matter in football season, you might be a little worried. Well, come football season, our buddy Nick might have a drinking problem, and it might hurt morale, and I might not be able to yell at Dusty anymore because he's going to be like, why can't I be drunk? I want to yell this stuff. There'll be problems.
Well,
so I think that not with the Jets.
But
he hasn't.
42. That's the thing.
And so I don't think it's. I agree that if Aaron Rodgers had missed minicamp because he got the flu, and or just was sick and missed those reps, I don't think it would hurt them. But the fact that he is opting to do this, and then there is an excuse train being laid out where Saleh's doing an interview with the reporter who implied he's on an ayahuasca trip, saying Aaron has done everything, just already shows me this is a dysfunctional franchise. The dysfunctional franchise part doesn't concern you. It's enough to move Brew.
It is enough to move Brew. I can't believe Nathaniel Hackett still has a job. They're definitely dysfunctional. I just think they're better with him than without him.
Can I pitch something to you, bro?
There's no doubt about that.
We heard this, and you mentioned it. When Stephon Diggs missed a day or maybe half a day of training camp, and he was concerned and he wasn't concerned, and I think the same line of thought could pop up and be like, half a day? You're worried about half a day when it comes to the playoffs? Like, no, not really. I don't think he's going to learn a different route and work on it. But it showed cracks in the team's foundation that ended up crumbling the entire Bills. Well, that's a little strong, Wilds. It ended up fracturing the relationship.
What was the beginning of a breakup?
It was a sign of what really was going on. And look, Saleh could have, like you said, the worst thing is this took place after he went to smoke ayahuasca or whatever it is you do with it. But he could have said this without killing Rodgers, because I get his only chance of keeping a job and having a decent season is to placate Rodgers. I get why he's not going to crush him, but you could do that without outright lying. You could just be like, look, Aaron's been terrific since he got here.
Okay, that's the end of the segment. Listen. They are dead wrong about this. 100% dead wrong. And let me explain to you why. They're acting, and I've talked about this before, but I made another recent video where I kind of briefly touched upon this, and people are confused with what I was saying. So I want to be able to establish exactly what I'm saying in this video right here, okay? What Aaron Rodgers is doing is not just going out and partying and laying on a beach. That's not what he's doing. What Aaron Rodgers is doing is something that for him, and for many people around the world, by the way, is deeply, deeply spiritual and restorative and crucial for his own well-being. All the major universities around the world, for that matter, Yale, Harvard, Penn, they all have psychedelic research now, okay? They're starting to use MDMA, psilocybin mushrooms, all this type of stuff to help people through depression, anxiety, terminally ill, a cancer diagnosis, like grieving, trauma, PTSD, all of this type of stuff. The research is through the roof and is overwhelmingly positive. Okay? And so this is some of the stuff that Aaron Rodgers is doing. He goes on these retreats, he meditates, he takes some of these other substances that help facilitate that process. And when you do it, believe me, it's not that enjoyable. You get violently sick. Okay? You get violently sick. Coming out of here, coming out below, you get violently sick. It is not just, ooh, I feel good. Oh, this feels great. Let's party. Let's hook up with other people now. That's not what it's like. It's hard work. And it's psychologically daunting at times. You can have experiences that make you feel like you're embraced in the heavens. And you can have other experiences that make you feel like you were just ripped down to the deepest, darkest moments that you could ever experience. And unless you experience whatever you're imagining, it's times 1,000,000. You can lose your mind. That's how intense everything gets. So make no mistake about it. What he's doing is hard work. And quite frankly, it's courageous to even be able to do that. Now, again, I understand that people don't understand this process and that they're confused by it because they don't have experience. I have direct experience both professionally and personally in this arena. Okay? It's what my formal background is technically in. And so what he's doing is spiritual and religious in a lot of ways. Him doing this process is the same things that Christians use Christianity for prayer, reading the Bible, talking to a reverend, a father, a nun, any other religious leader. Okay? They do that to become more spiritually fulfilled, to have a higher sense of well-being, to cultivate compassion and understanding and empathy and joy and all the other positives that people rely on religion for, community. That is what Aaron Rodgers is doing. This is no different than Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers was deeply Christian and was going on a retreat with the Pope, was going on a prayer retreat, to do dedicated, education and learning, within the Bible or any other religious text that he may, read and study with the Pope. It's no different. Now, the question is, people are saying, but why did it have to be during this time? It's because Aaron actually doesn't have control. He's most likely on a retreat that he doesn't have the control, that this was scheduled, that these retreats are only offered so much. He's going to be working with probably someone who is deeply connected. I think he's in South America or wherever. Someone who has deep experience, most likely like an actual local, someone who's actually ancestrally relevant to that community and that art form. And that's who he's working with. He doesn't have the ability to say to that guy, do you know who I am? I'm Aaron Rodgers. We need to reschedule this. Because that guy's like, I don't care who you are. When you're here, you're not Aaron Rodgers. You're not a gajillionaire. You're not an NFL Super Bowl quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback, MVP, Hall of Famer. You're just a dude. I don't even know who you are. He doesn't have that ability. So it was like he either went to this now or it wasn't going to happen. That's the difference. He couldn't reschedule. So it had to be today. And he did this months in advance. That's why he told the Jets, I'm doing this. And this is really important to me. People for years have criticized Aaron for being a bad teammate, for being prickly, for not being nice, all this. This is what Aaron is doing. This is Aaron's journey to becoming a better person, to becoming a happier person, a more connected person, a better teammate. By Aaron doing this, it makes him a better teammate. Just like someone who really, really goes all in on Christianity and learns to be, a better person through his faith, through Christianity, through trusting God's will and praying to Jesus and feeling connected to all of that. That will make you a better coworker, a better teammate, a better husband, a better father, a better mother, a better sister, better brother. That's undeniable. It's undeniable. It's like literally what the Bible and Jesus' teachings teach. So Aaron is doing the exact same thing, but it's just essentially a different religion. That's really what it comes down to. Aaron is not just doing keg stands and drinking and running around and flirting and he's at a frat party. It's not what he's doing. People are acting like he's being Gronk right now. And that's not what it is. Aaron is doing hard work, dedicated, inner work that is brutally difficult. And he's doing it because he wants to be happier, because he wants to feel more secure in his own life. He wants to be a better person. That's the only reason why you do those things, is actively do it as if you want to be a better person, or you're trying to overcome maybe some trauma and you want a better life for yourself. You want to have a greater sense of well-being. And that is exactly what Aaron Rodgers is doing. It's just a reality. Okay, we had Lane Johnson who missed some Eagles games because he was suffering from debilitating anxiety. And at first people were like, well, that's ridiculous. I have to show up for work. And I get it. Not everybody has that luxury to miss work just because they're like, oh, I'm feeling anxious. But there's different degrees of this. We know people take well-being or a lack of well-being to such an extreme that they don't want to be alive anymore. And they actually take that leap, which is an absolute massive tragedy. So we know it's all on a spectrum of how happy and how miserable people are and what they're trying to get out of life. Just like anyone who is deeply Christian or Jewish or any other religion, where they really feel connected to God and they feel connected to the teachings of Jesus and all of those things that help them get through life, that when they face adversity, they think, well, God is doing this for a reason. God is putting this in front of me. God has bigger plans for me. Let go, let God. Aaron Rodgers is on an equivalent journey, but it just so happens to be more from, this isn't exactly accurate, but more of like a Buddhist or a Hindu type trajectory. It's more about inner work rather than looking up above to say a higher power necessarily. But also taking those substances in a lot of ways can sometimes make you feel connected to a higher power and have more faith in a God. So it's all relevant here. So just like the lack of understanding and the bashing of Aaron for that and saying he's a bad teammate, he's doing what he thinks will make him an even better teammate, an even better quarterback. That's just the reality. He's doing everything he can to put himself in that position. So I just hate that that's the way he's being painted, as just being someone who's just a bad teammate, partying, picking this over the Jets, and it's just not fully accurate. And like I said before, I can guarantee you that if Aaron had to miss those 2 days at minicamp, and it was because he had a deep 2-day retreat with the Pope, nobody would have an issue with it. Because they would all understand, hey, like, I wish he could show up for work, but like, hey, he's like doing this like deep Christian, retreat with the Pope, and obviously he can't reschedule that because the Pope has more power than Aaron Rodgers. Like, people would understand it more. I think some people would still have an issue with it, which I get. In the perfect world, I would love for him to not have to miss minicamp to do everything that I just said. Right? In a perfect world, you find a way to be able to do both. I get that. I get that. But Aaron was having a very unique opportunity to go do what he's able to do. And for him, he made the calculated decision of saying, listen, I understand I'm going to miss these 2 days of minicamp. I've been doing everything else. I obviously care deeply about winning and I want to win. I'm going to do this because ultimately it's going to make me feel better, be better, and increase my chances of success playing as a New York Jet, and being the quarterback for this team. These 2 days at minicamp are not going to make me a better teammate, a better leader, or a better player. But doing this retreat will. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And that was his decision. And I totally understand and support that decision. So I just think that the hate and like the automatic, like he's clearly proving to be a bad teammate and that this is indefensible, is just coming from a place of a lack of understanding. It's just a lack of understanding. It's like telling people who are Christian, why you wear a cross? Why are you wearing a cross? That's so dumb. Why are you wearing a cross? Or why you pray to a god? To who? A spaghetti monster in the sky? Right, because God's listening to your prayers? That's dumb. You got to work hard for what you want. You can't just pray to God. The reason why you're failing isn't because of God, it's because of your own decisions. You need to take control of your life. Don't pray to some fake guy in the sky. I mean, that's what they sound like there. And I know a lot of Christians out there do not believe that. They believe God has a very active, role in their lives and the way how the universe works as a whole. So this is what Aaron is doing. And I think that if you do your own research and look into it, you'll see that what I'm saying. And at the very least, even if you are fundamentally against this idea that this helps him spiritually, and it's equivalent to a Christianity or any other mainstream religion, I obviously disagree with that, but let's say you feel that way. At the very least, it's like him doing medical treatment. It's no different than him doing then medical treatment to improve the quality of his mind, of his brain, to make him happier. It's like an extensive, mental health inpatient facility treatment that's working on his severe crippling depression and anxiety, or someone who has severe PTSD. It's no different than that. Of him taking dedicated medication, of him going and getting surgery on his knee and then staying in an inpatient rehab facility to recover. It's no different. Or because like they said, if Aaron was injured, and I'm not sure if you use stem cells in the NFL, or if that's banned, but sometimes you have to go to a facility to get the stem cells. You get them injected in your knee, then you have to linger around there for a couple of days and be monitored and all of that. And I'm sure if that's okay within the NFL, and that's what Aaron was doing, they would be totally okay with it. Well, that's what Aaron's doing, but it's for his mind and his brain. And if it's 2024, if we can't understand the importance of the mind and the brain in health and well-being and your life and your production on the field, off the field, with friends, with family, I don't know what to tell you. You got to get with the times if you're still doubting the importance of that. There's a reason why the NFL takes CTE and concussion so seriously now. Because I don't know who needs to hear this, but the brain and the mind are really, really, really important. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think Aaron has proved to be a great teammate, or do you think his actions are indefensible? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.